Hey family, it's Carla with Trust the Process again. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but I just wanted to come out and say hello to everyone and just see how, we're all doing out here with all this shifting and changes. I know a lot of us are being, awakened to realize that maybe we're living in fear still in some ways, in some areas of our lives. And we're kind of being triggered in some ways to work on those fears that are deeply rooted within us. And so a lot of situations are going to come about that are going to they're actually being brought up because they need those feelings need to be released. Those energies need to be released. And so you got to work on releasing all that fear and anger and all the worry, all those things. We need to learn how to release those things now because they no longer serve a purpose in your life. They never really did, and so what they do is they block you from doing the things that you really want to do. And so when you live in fear of, experiencing life to its fullest, that's where you get those blockages, and you see other people doing things and you're like, wow, I wish I could do that. It's not that you wish you could do it. You can do it, but you have to remove that fear because it's blocking you. And I had my fears too. I still have some fears that I'm working on, but I had a fear of heights. And a few months ago, this summer, I decided this was going to be the year that I broke that fear. I erased that fear from my life because I wanted to be able to experience things differently. I wanted to see what the type of a mountain looked like because there was always this like feeling of I'm so intrigued by it. I want to know what it feels like to be up there and at that elevation and just feel like that free feeling. And it was such a good feeling to know that when I got past that fear and that anxiety that I had with going up so high, that it felt so great to get up there that it became habit to me. It's like, oh, I'm going up the mountain now, and those are the things that we need to be tackling right now because we're in a shift right now. We're shifting dimensions. We're people are getting more in connection with God and understanding that the universe, if they speak to the universe, you manifest things first by thought and then with your words. And so you can be thinking something and speak something differently, and whatever came out your mouth may be exactly what manifests because they have to be in alignment with each other. And so a lot of us are working on aligning ourselves, and we're going to fall prey to certain things. We're going to make mistakes, and we're going to be able to be more aware of it rapidly versus years later and like, oh my God, I shouldn't have did this, So I think that this shift really does assist us in a lot of ways, and we're able to get like messages from the universe telling us that, hey, you're doing the right thing, A lot of people are getting a lot of messages. There's a lot of decoding going on and new programming going on, and just, God is definitely working on his children. And so we have to be open enough to receive those messages and open enough to understand that all he wants us to do is exist in unconditional love. That's it. He wants us to love each other unconditionally, accept each other for who we are, know that we are humans, that we are making mistakes that humans will make anyway, but we have to be aware of the mistakes. We need to be able to correct our mistakes. We need to be and we need to speak to our soul and our spirit and nurture it just as we nurture other people. And a lot of the times, when we're in like certain situations with relationships and stuff like that, those things, we get, there's a mirror, and when you look in the mirror, you see yourself. You're looking at yourself. And a lot of relationships that we get into mirror a lot of our fears, and we don't really realize it until like we're being triggered and we start to react to it in a negative way, or you start to react to it negatively, and you're trying to figure out, why is this way? Why is this person reacting this way, doing this to me to make me feel this way? It's not that they're doing it in a bad way. They're doing it because God wants them to do it that way. God wants them to trigger that negative thing out of you so that you can release it. You need to let it go. It needs to go. Because it no longer serves a purpose in your life. It never did. And a lot of us are living with a lot of those past traumas and all those the things that we've experienced in our life that we know to be normal because that's what we were used to. And then you get shifted into a whole nother dimension and a whole nother way of thinking. And you start to see, hey, this is not how things really should be. And I am in control of the changes that will be made in my life. And I have to align with God in order for him to, move me in the direction that's my direction, my road, my path in life. And so a lot of the times you'll find yourself in a job that you don't really like, and you're afraid to leave because, you need the income, but if you don't take a chance on things that really can change your situation, change your life, change the life of your family, then you'll always live in that low vibrational place where you're always afraid of what the outcome might be. There was a lot of things that I was in fear of, as far as like when my husband died, how I was going to be, how was I going to take care of all those children without him? I'm doing it. It's 6 years later. I'm doing it. And I've had bumps along the way, but I'm doing it. And they're still healthy and they are strong, and I'm still healthy. I'm still strong, and I did it. And I continue to do it because God is with me. And, he's always been my father, always. And so until I recognized that he was my father and that he was with me through everything I was going through, things used to weigh me down and bother me. And I was always looking at things from the negative aspect of it versus the positive. But he had already trained me to be the single mother that I was going to be. I just didn't notice it. And when I look back on it now, because my mind is open, I understand him more. I have a relationship with him. So now I can understand that he was walking me through, training me up for the position that he already had in place for me. And I was unaware at the time because I was so blocked. And a lot of us are walking around like that. There's so many situations that you could be in a bad relationship and it's not good for you, but you're there. And it's because of something in you that you haven't worked on. It could be your insecurity. It could be that, you lacked love as a child. And so you look for it in ways that are unhealthy, but you accept it because that's all you think that you're worth. And so when we work on our self-worth, self-love, and just building our own spirit and our own strength and our character and loving ourselves on the inside so deeply that nothing can affect you in that way, that if you see someone that is not fitting of the lifestyle that you want for yourself, that you would just walk away from it because it doesn't fit you. And that's the kind of strength God gives you. That's the kind of the love that he gives you on the inside, to where you are so fully aware of if something's not good for you, you just walk away from it immediately because it doesn't fit the lifestyle that you want for yourself. And a lot of us just kind of, I know I was guilty of those things in my life too. So, and just going through this experience and going through walking in my journey right now. I'm in my journey right now. The way that I think, the way that I look at life, the way that I look at, situations that I've experienced, I look at them as all great things. I needed them. And I signed up for it. That was my doing. I signed up to go through these processes in my life in order for me to learn whatever lesson it is. And the lessons are being exposed to me now. They're being made more clear to me now that I'm here to empower other people. Because for someone to go through not having a mother, not having a father, I've been through abusive relationships. I've been through so many different things in my life. And for me to just be able to just sit here and tell you that you can come out of that. You can be healthy. You can love yourself. You don't need anyone on the outside to validate how you, because you should love yourself enough to know that you don't need that person. You don't need anything other than God and you. That relationship alone should be sufficient. And the way he loves you is way better than anybody else loving you. And the way he makes you aware of yourself and the way he makes you aware of him within you, you would not be able to accept anything lower. And so, and when you do make those mistakes, you will stop yourself in your tracks. You're like, no, this is not for me. And so I'm telling you that if anything's holding you back, anything that, whether it be career wise, education wise, you're not too old. You're not stupid. You can learn, and and you can get out of whatever relationship that's not healthy for you. And that can go for parents, children, whatever it is that's an unhealthy attachment for you. You don't have to hold on to that. You can let that go. And what it does is it's freeing for you, and it's freeing for the person, because the other person gets the chance to go work on themselves, and you get to work on yourself and learn to work on and learn to love yourself. And so don't stay in those unhealthy, unbalanced relationships that just don't feed your soul, don't feed your spirit. Love yourself enough to know that if it doesn't measure the love that you're giving yourself, or even more than what you're giving yourself, then it doesn't belong there. It doesn't belong in your life. Step away. And sometimes people will hold on to they for dear life, because they know that you have something so special that they want to hold on to it, because they know they can't do it without you, but they can do it without you. It's just that they have their own issues and their own insecurities that they have to deal with. And sometimes you're going to have to let them go so they can deal with that, so it can be dredged up, so that it could be brought to the surface so they can work on it. So I'm just telling everybody, love yourself, love others, accept them for who they are, and trust your process, and trust that God is working in your life, and that he is ever present in your life, and that he loves you unconditionally, just as you are supposed to love others unconditionally. And sometimes you're going to need, some alone time to really get yourself together. And that's what I had to do. I had to really shut myself off from, certain things, and just kind of get my alone time again, and see where I'm at, and what is it my next step would be. And a lot of the time, a lot of us don't do that. We don't take the time to just kind of shut out, the outside distractions, the outside noise. And that's a necessary thing. Shut out everything, if you have to, that is distracting you from whatever purpose God has for you. Because you have a lot of people that come into your life, and they can be stopping you from going to the next level in your life. And you got to be able to learn, how to pick and choose who needs to be with you, who needs to be in your life, and who doesn't need to be in your life. Because a lot of the time, God, if you don't listen to God, after a while, he removes them. And that be it. And that's it. I'm about to get a little hood and say that, and that be it. But he just removes them. So I'm telling everybody, work on yourselves, love yourself, do the work on yourself. I think, and I said this one time to myself, I keep saying this to myself, and I know eventually it's going to come to pass, that I'm going to sit with Iyanla Vanzant one day, and I'm going to talk to her about all the blessings that she's put in my life, because she has been such an important factor in my growth too, because it was just from listening to her and watching how she helped people that really opened me up to helping myself and wanting to love myself more. And anyone who's out there right now that's hurting and feeling sad about things that you have not accomplished, or you got time, you have time to start now. You have time to start now. I don't know how much time you have, because I don't know how much time I have, but the time I have, I want to use it to the best of my ability, and I want to accomplish the things that I want to, or at least I want to be on the road to accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. And so I just tell you, don't stop where you're at. Keep going, and trust that God has you, and that he will lead you in the right direction. God bless you, and have a great day, and trust the process, because I know I do.